Coming up on OU Nightly, the shutdown drags on. Find out the record that was tied today and the latest on negotiations to reopen the government. The Norman community coming together. The new way you can help those who've lost SNAP benefits. And the new Title All Oklahoma Highway Patrol officers are getting to help with Operation Guardian. This is OU Nightly.
Today marks day 35 of the federal government shutdown, tying the record for the longest in U.S. history. Thanks for joining us tonight on OU Nightly. I'm Michael Thompson.
And I'm Carlin McCreary. Just a few hours ago, the Senate failed in its 14th vote on the GOP's plan to reopen the government. Tomorrow, this shutdown will break the record for the longest in U.S. history. Senate Democrats have rejected the last 14 votes, saying Republicans must first negotiate with them. The main sticking point, the health care funding. Democrats say they are considering supporting a separate bill to extend expiring Affordable Care Act subsidies. Despite the failed vote, negotiations are expected to continue throughout the week. And the White House says they will provide SNAP assistance after earlier today, President Donald Trump said he plans to withhold SNAP benefits, even though his administration announced yesterday it would fund half of November's payments. On Truth Social, President Trump wrote that SNAP benefits will be given only when Democrats open up the government. The post comes just a day after the administration said it would follow a court order and use about $5 billion in emergency funds to provide partial SNAP benefits through November.
In Oklahoma, Republican state leaders approved emergency funds to support food banks and SNAP programs. As the federal shutdown continues, the state of Oklahoma can now give up to $1 million per week for 7 weeks to food banks in all 77 counties. The $7.8 million in the state emergency fund is only available until it runs out.
Well, it's not unusual to find music lovers digging through records at Guest Room, but this week they're also digging deep for their neighbors. Continuing our SNAP coverage, OU Nightly's Bryn Mead joins us live with how one Norman record store is spinning a different kind of tune. Bryn?
Yes, Carlin, behind me here, Guest Room Records may seem like just your typical record store, but what's happening inside this box goes far beyond music. Take a look. You don't normally walk into a record store expecting to change someone's life, but at Guest Room Records, that's exactly what's happening.
You have people talking to each other that they're not necessarily going to talk to each other at the grocery store, but they talk to each other here. And
before you leave, be sure to take note of the food drive box to the left of the front door.
It was the right time.
And Will said it best. About 17% of Oklahomans statewide receive SNAP benefits. This makes it number 4 on the top 10 states in need of SNAP. With a lingering government shutdown, local businesses like Guest Room are doing the best they can to help.
Silly and simple as it is to just give people some food.
The food bank mission started small.
So they actually reached out. We've had a lot of community members reaching out, just expressing that they understand this is a really difficult time for a lot of Oklahomans and that they want to do their part.
And the effects were a lot more than anyone expected.
It was within minutes. There was already people dropping stuff off.
It's results like this that give community members, like Will, hope.
It feels like maybe our society is moving back to a time when we actually do stuff instead of just talking about it.
And urban mission representatives have one word to cover it all.
I would say grateful. Grateful because we have a lot of community support that allow us to do that.
Local collaborations like these give real people like this their next meal. Whether you're dropping off a can of soup or spinning a new record, it all keeps the music and the giving going. Live from Main Street, Bryn Mead, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Bryn. The Urban Mission food distribution is on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And the parking lot will open at 7:30 in the morning. United Way of Norman is also launching a food drive with local community partners in response to the SNAP funding freeze. They are currently taking donations for any non-perishable goods such as canned items like fruits, vegetables, and soup, along with pasta and baby food. You can drop off the goods at any of the Pioneer Library System libraries, the OU Food Pantry, and the McLean Library. A list of all 33 drop locations along with a donations list can be found on the United Way Norman website. Well, I don't know about you. I feel like, honestly, the fall temperatures just keep coming and going. Like, I can't decide if I can wear a sweatshirt to class. I miss sweatshirt weather.
So do I. But OU Nightly meteorologist Garrett Tarver joins us in studio. Garrett, what is with this hot weather?
Well, you're right. It is hot. We are very much above average. Look at that orange on the screen. I'm not too much of a fan of that for a couple of reasons, but you know, it is nice outside. 75 degrees in Norman, 76 in Oklahoma City right now, and it's also super dry. So we have those southerly winds bringing up that dry weather, keeping us in the 70s, but also keeping us dry with not a whole lot of clouds. Now, we do have some cold fronts on the way. With those, it's going to be warm and windy, and our first big freeze coming up here in the next segment.
Thanks, Garrett. Oklahoma is expanding Operation Guardian. Commissioner Tim Tipton announced that all state troopers now have ICE credentials, allowing them to detain, question, and process undocumented immigrants during enforcement operations. About 750 troops are now a part of the program, and Tipton says 2 major operations at Oklahoma ports of entry this fall led to 160 arrests.
Well, it's time for Americans to hit the polls across several states for Election Day.
Find out which states could be seeing new people step into power. Plus, a truck carrying cars is crushed by a train.
See the unbelievable video of the collision and find out how this truck ended up here when we return.
Mom was always organized, but she started forgetting to pay her bills on time.
And she'd buy the same gifts over and over. Telling the girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was really hard.
At first we had our cries, but then we were like, okay, let's make a plan.
Early detection gave us time to adapt together.
It's so important for you to think about what you can do and making the most of what you have.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
We said we'd never give in to a meltdown.
Mariella!
Never leave the house looking, well, and never let them out of our sight. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock.
OU Nightly, we have news from overnight. Former Vice President Dick Cheney has died at the age of 84. His family says he passed away Monday due to complications of pneumonia and cardiac and vascular disease. Cheney served in a number of political roles even before becoming George W. Bush's vice president in 2001. Oklahoma Congressman Tim Cole released a statement saying, "I was saddened to learn of the passing of former Vice President Dick Cheney while we did not always agree on everything." Oklahoma City Mayor David Holt also posted to social media thanking Cheney for his help raising funds for the OKC National Memorial and Museum.
Today, voters are heading to the polls across the country to cast their ballots in multiple key elections. Karen Kafa is in Washington with a look at key votes.
Governor's races in Virginia and New Jersey, the mayor's race in New York City, and a California vote that will tee up next year's high-stakes congressional elections headline Election Day 2025. With a large population of federal workers impacted by the Trump administration's downsizing of the government workforce and the current shutdown, Democratic Virginia candidate for governor and former Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger has tied Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears to President Donald Trump and his policies to try to boost her campaign. In New Jersey, Republican gubernatorial candidate Jack Ciattarelli, who was endorsed by Trump, has framed himself as a Jersey guy while trying to cast his opponent, Democratic Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill, who moved to the Garden State after her Navy career, as an outsider. And in New York City, Trump urged voters to support former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo over Democratic nominee Zohran Mamdani. Mamdani, a Democratic socialist, has zeroed in on the cost of living in the city, which has resonated especially with young and social media savvy voters. Cuomo, who lost to Mamdani in the Democratic primary and is running as an independent, has argued Mamdani, a 34-year-old state assemblyman, is too inexperienced. And in California, voters are considering a plan backed by Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom to reshape the state's congressional map to improve Democrats' chances of winning 5 GOP-held seats in next year's midterms. It's designed to counter a plan signed into law by Texas Governor Greg Abbott that aims to help Republicans win 5 House seats there. Of course, those 2026 midterm elections are still a full year away, but both parties will be looking for insights into how to turn out voters in their favor when control of Congress is up for grabs next November. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
And make sure to tune in tomorrow as OU Nightly will have a full recap of the results at 4:30 p.m.
The U.S. Transportation Secretary says if the federal government shutdown continues, it will mean mass chaos in the air. OU Nightly's Jack Hancock has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says he may be forced to shut down certain parts of the country's airspace.
You will see mass chaos, you will see mass flight delays, you'll see mass cancellations.
13,000 air traffic controllers are working without pay, according to the FAA. The next scheduled paycheck is next Tuesday. 2 suspects have been arrested following an explosion on Saturday at Harvard's medical school. Federal authorities charge 18-year-old Logan Patterson and 20-year-old Dominic Cardoza. The 2 face charges of conspiracy to damage a federally funded institution with fire or an explosive. The U.S. District Attorney for Massachusetts, Leah Foley, says it is too early to know the motive and an investigation is ongoing. And here's terrifying video coming from Schertz, Texas, near San Antonio. A semi broken down. Luckily, no one is hurt. The 18-wheeler, which was hauling cars, broke down on the tracks and the driver was able to escape before the train made impact. Residents in the area say this intersection is dangerous and there have been similar incidents in the past. And now a warning from the United Nations Secretary General saying the war in Sudan is spiraling out of control. The civil war has been ongoing for over 2 years, killing 40,000 people.
Thanks, Jack. Lawmakers are set to update a major state law.
Find out how Oklahomans could be impacted when we return.
Well, it's hot and it's cold. Is it yes or no for our first freeze? I'll have that after this break.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. Looking out your campus cam, that sun setting just a little bit earlier than it was last week, and those colors on the trees starting to come up just a little bit. 75 degrees for us. I was talking about how dry it is. Look at that, 34% for our humidity. Now it's windy. Welcome to Oklahoma. You're used to it, but it's still going to blow you away as you get outside. Starting to taper off a little bit, but west of the metro, going to be a little bit stronger. Now we're going to have even more wind as we get round after round of cold front. That first one going to come through as we get into Wednesday. Look at that, mountains are blue. You know what to do. Now, not down here. We're going to see that move on through. We got another one moving through. It's going to barely miss us as well. Not going to drop our temperatures by a whole lot. Stick around in those 70s into Friday, but lots of wind Friday. That next cold front coming through into Saturday, it's the same story. We're going to be mostly dry, maybe some winds, but not a whole big change for those temperatures. The big one comes as we get into next week. Look at that, almost white up to the north. That's going to drop on down as we get into early Monday morning. This is where we're looking to see that first possible freeze. And boy, it's going to be cold, especially if we get those Oklahoma winds in the morning. Now, our future wind gusts for the rest of this week, 30 for us there in Norman. As we get into tomorrow, we'll see them taper off a little bit. That cold front's going to move through, barely just clipping down into southern Oklahoma. A little bit windier behind that. Winds coming out of the northeast. Maybe a little bit chillier as we get overnight, but for the most part, going to stay mostly warm for the next few days. So Wednesday, 75, Thursday, 77. Those oranges sticking around. We get green by Sunday and Monday with 56 for us, and then into those upper 60s into Tuesday. So it'll be short-lived. We'll see it move back in, and boy, those allergies, I am sniffling and sneezing. I thought I was sick, but I checked my temperature. We're all good. For us, trees, it's cedar fever. We're all used to it. If it affects you, you know. I knew as soon as we started getting to this time of year, I was dreading it, and I have those tissues right next to the bed. I haven't slept pretty good, but hey, maybe these temperatures will work for us. 55 for us, lows tonight into tomorrow. We'll warm back up into the 70s again, 75 for us. Lots of sunny skies, that northeast kicking up as that cold front barely skips us. Our 7-day forecast, 70s for us as we get even with those cold fronts, but winds kicking up as we get into Friday into Saturday, Sunday as well. Plenty of sunshine in the forecast. Not a whole lot of clouds, but a whole lot of heat into next week. Maybe a freeze soon.
I mean, I don't know. I'm happy we get a little bit of summer, at least like a little bit more. I don't know. It's like we're squeezing out what we can of summer this year.
We'll take what we can. You know, at least it's not 90.
It's
it could be
true.
worse, and at least the winds aren't blowing 40 like they were last week.
Exactly. What's your advice to people this weekend with the first freeze? Anything people need to know?
Make sure you have your jackets. If you don't have one and you left it at home, if you're from Texas, you're going to want it next week. So go home and get it if you have the opportunity.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Garrett. Oklahoma lawmakers are updating the state's open container law, adding new rules for marijuana and raising fines for violations. Under the new law, it is now illegal to have an open container of alcohol or marijuana in a moving car unless it is sealed and stored in the trunk. Passengers in buses and limos are still allowed to drink, but drivers cannot. Violators could be sentenced up to 6 months in county jail and receive a fine of up to $500.
Well, the shot clock hit 0 as two OU teams made their regular season debut last night. How did both of them do?
And one former Sooner just lost his starting job. Who is it, and what does his team plan to do next?
That's right, Carlin. And the final countdown has begun for OU football. Find out what is at stake for the Sooners' last 3 regular season games and how it could shape up their future. This more, and much more up next in sports.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Oh, right. Look at you taking the stairs. Who are you? We're your lungs. We are proud of you for quitting smoking, but you still may be at risk for lung cancer.
A routine cancer scan can detect it early when it's more curable.
Good to know. Well, I gotta go somewhere.
So do we.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Food isn't just fuel to live, it's fuel to grow. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. When people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger, and together we can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Visit feedingamerica.org/actnow.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
I'm Landon Thomas, and it's time for sports. The first college football playoff rankings will be released tonight at 7 p.m., and multiple outlets believe OU football is on the fence of being included. USA Today and ESPN predict that the Sooners are the last team in the 12-team playoff, while CBS Sports has OU as the first team out at 13, and Bleacher Report has them out at 14. OU still has 3 regular season games left on their schedule, with at number 5 Bama, number 19 Missouri, and LSU at home. So things can definitely change up depending on the outcomes of these 3 games left. Shifting on to the hardwood, OU men's basketball played their first game of the regular season last night against St. Francis. The Sooners started out slow, leading only by 1 point at the end of the first half, but redshirt freshman Kual Atek led the way for a Sooner blowout with a team-high 20 points as OU won 102-66. Head coach Porter Moser credits his second-half defense for the blowout win.
We talked at halftime, and they had 26 points in the paint in the first half. They had 40 shots, all right? And the second half, they had 10 points in the paint. That's a drastic difference of 26. We guarded the dribbler better. We had better team defense. We got back in transition, and we just settled down and did so many more things aggressively.
OU women's basketball also played last night in their regular season debut against Belmont. OU was only winning by 4 points entering the fourth quarter, but pulled away, winning 84-67. Head coach Jenny Baranchek knows that they have a lot of room for improvement.
I'm not worried about whether or not we make baskets or not. Obviously, there were times we missed layups that we'd like to have back. There's times that, we shot threes that we'd like to have back. It's really going to be the selection that we're going through. Some of that, part of what we do, too, is we want to play in space. So they all have the freedom to be able to do some of those things. It's when we do them together that we're really good. It's when we feel like we have to do something individually. We've got to find that balance.
Heading to the pros, former Sooner Jeremiah Fears and the New Orleans Pelicans are looking for their first win of the regular season against the Charlotte Hornets tonight at 7 p.m. Buddy Hield and the Warriors will host Phoenix Suns at 9 p.m., and Hawks star guard Trae Young has been ruled out due to a knee injury. The Oklahoma City Thunder travel to Los Angeles to face the Clippers, and the Thunder are the only undefeated team left in the league at 7-0. OKC looks to start the season 8-0 for the first time ever with tip-off at 10 p.m. In breaking news in the NFL, former Sooner quarterback Kyler Murray has been benched by the Arizona Cardinals in place of Jacoby Brissett, the starting QB, per Ian Rappaport. Michael, Carlin.
Well, dearest gentle readers, one Bridgerton actor certainly has much to celebrate.
And we have the details on what Jonathan Bailey is calling the honor of a lifetime.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater. Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater. Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, turn off the water while you brush your teeth. You'll save about 4 gallons per minute. That comes out to about 200 gallons a week for a family of 4. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
Potter at the OU Nightly Update Desk. Local media outlets are reporting that a plane has crashed near Muhammad Ali International Airport in Louisville. Not all the details are known yet, but the plane is believed to be with UPS Airlines. We'll continue to follow the story as it develops.
Thanks, McKinley. Well, People magazine has officially named this year's sexiest man alive, and safe to say it was a wickedly good pick.
Well, known for his beloved roles in Wicked and Bridgerton, Jonathan Bailey is the winner of one of the magazine's biggest traditions. Bailey is making history as the first openly gay person to receive the award. He's calling it the honor of a lifetime.
You know, that's a great pick, whatever. I think that's fine, but I don't know how it wasn't Landon Thomas. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion.
Well, Michael, I'm going to say I think my girlfriend thinks the same, but maybe not you.
Well, all right then.
Looking at that, I think we know why it's so hot outside. And while those temperatures, we're going to continue to see them pretty hot through the rest of this week. 70s for us, 73 into Friday, and then we get into the 50s next week with round after round of cold fronts. So hot for a while, but we'll cool down next week.
Well, I'm very happy about that. Good Lord, it has been hot, and I am ready for sweatshirts, just like Carlin said earlier. Carlin?
Well, I mean, I agree. I'm very excited for the warmer temperatures. I think, you know, with Jonathan Bailey being the sexiest man alive, it's just fitting. You know what I mean?
Come to Oklahoma, maybe he can cool us down. I don't know if that's the case, but
hey, great idea, Garrett. Well, thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Michael Thompson.
And I'm Carla McCreary. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. We're going to leave you with a last look at the Gaylord College Anniversary Exhibition in the Bizzell Memorial Library. Good night.